We have got a Fox News alert for you because right now Israeli troops are moving deeper into southern Lebanon after beginning their overnight invasion on the ground. Nate Foy joins us right now from Tel Aviv. Nate.
Hey, Steve, good morning. So Israel is complementing its limited ground offensive with additional airstrikes across Lebanon this morning, while Hezbollah is responding with a constant wave of rockets into northern and central Israel, including here in Tel Aviv, where Hezbollah targeted the Mossad headquarters with several rockets fired from a civilian area in Lebanon. Some, but not all of them, were shot down. Take a look at the damage. We're learning of 2 injuries, both of them drivers hit by falling shrapnel. This is the second time in a week that Hezbollah has targeted Tel Aviv. The Houthis targeted Tel Aviv twice as well in the past week, so 4 times overall. Now take a look here at Israeli forces getting ready to invade southern Lebanon overnight. Their commandos and paratroopers are focused on Hezbollah positions up against the border so the evacuated residents of Israel's north can return to their homes. Now Israel continues taking out Hezbollah's weapons capabilities as well. They hit several facilities in the Dahia neighborhood of Beirut this morning. And don't forget, Israel is still fighting Hamas in Gaza. Overnight, Israeli airstrikes reportedly killed at least 31 people. In one of them, Israel says they hit a Hamas command center that was inside a building that used to be a school. Meanwhile, Yemen's Houthi rebels appear to have resumed their attacks on shipping in the Red Sea after Israel hit Yemen's port city of Hodeidah on Sunday. The Houthis also claim they shot down a U.S. drone on Monday. As for what we can expect in this limited ground invasion, a senior U.S. official tells Fox that it will be smaller and quicker than the 2006 Second Lebanon War that lasted 34 days and ended in a UN resolution requiring that Hezbollah operate north of the Litani River, which is something that didn't actually happen in practice, and that's why the 60,000 residents up in Israel's north had to evacuate when Hezbollah began firing on Israel on October 8th. Brian?
Wow, Nate, so many moving parts. Great job. 28 minutes now before the top of the hour. Let's expand on the conversation. Former IDF spokesperson Jonathan Conricus joins us now. He is live in Jerusalem with the latest. Colonel, the best you can, I know you know where the leaders are. I know you knew where Nasrallah was. How well does the IDF know the tunnel system they're going into right now?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me. I think that Hezbollah has been busy over the last 17, 18 years digging tunnels and preparing for this day. And what exists just on the other side of the blue line, the border between Israel and Lebanon, is an intricate system of tunnels that Hezbollah has dug, which they intend to use in order to cross into Israel and attack Israeli communities. And that will be one very important point of infrastructure that Israeli troops will be going in order to dismantle so that the area will be safe for Israeli civilians to return to once the military operations hopefully will come to a successful conclusion.
Between the 3,000 plus leaders, Hezbollah fighters that were blown up with their pagers and walkie-talkies, between the leadership that was blown up, between Nasrallah's death, what is the level of disarray among the world's leading terrorist organization right now? 10 being total disarray, 1 being no big deal.
I would put that at a 4, maybe a 5. We're talking about a serious terrorist organization of battle-hardened war criminals. They fought and conducted, lots of war crimes in Syria at the behest of Bashar al-Assad, and they've been fighting in Lebanon. They have experience fighting against Israel. So despite the fact that a lot of the senior leadership of Hezbollah has been decimated, there's still rank and file and junior and mid-level leadership.
Gotcha.
And I think that they are battle-ready and they want to fight, and that's what the IDF is going in to deal with.
Colonel, the Wall Street Journal tells a story today that the U.S. better get aboard. We have an opportunity now to neutralize the Houthi rebels as well as Iran. Here's what the headline: how to exploit Israel's success. With Hezbollah weak and Iran worried, now is the time for the U.S. to add pressure. Do you agree? How would you do it?
Well, I think that Israel is fighting a war for the West on behalf of the West, many times an ungrateful war where Israel isn't getting the support that it really needs and many times gets far more criticism than it should in the West, not necessarily in the US, but in many other countries. What I think Israel is doing is trailblazing and showing the world that, yes, you can fight, you can stand up against militant Islamism, and yes, you can stand up against Iran and their terrorist organizations. And I think that it's very good that we're talking about the Islamic Republic of Iran because they are the source of violence and instability. They are the ones that are threatening US troops in the Middle East.
Yep.
They are the ones who are attacking Israeli civilians day and night. And I think that in the not so distant future, that is where Israeli focus will go. We have some other fish to fry to deal with first, Hamas and Hezbollah, but the day isn't far when we will turn our focus on Iran and deal with the source of violence and instability in the Middle East.
Thanks so much. So, Lieutenant Colonel, it's everyone's pretty much in awe of what Israel has done. Walter Russell Mead of the Wall Street Journal says Prime Minister Netanyahu has had the greatest week in maybe modern political history and military history, too. Thanks so much, Colonel. Great to see you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.